It's your boy Drew MC in the building. In case you all didn't know, today is a Monday. And so what I intend on doing every Monday is having a segment I call Motivation Mondays. Yeah, I hope to make it as quick as possible, but yet not leave out important details. So, did you all remember when I was talking about like how my whole journey of coming this far, like my graduation and all that, has been like quite a process? That's what I want to talk about today. But I'm gonna start my story from 12th grade. I completed school in 2012, age 16. And straight from there, what happened is I started working at my mom's restaurant. My stepmom, I don't like using that term, but just for clarity's sake. Yeah, so I was working at my mom's restaurant at the time, 2013 now. My 12th grade results were released. I remember going with my mom to my school to pick up my results, like she drove me there. And at that moment, it's like the whole weight of the world was on my shoulders because everyone expected so much from me. Like my school, they expected a lot from me. My family expected a lot from me. Like I was planning to study medicine. So now my results are out. This is 2013. The envelope is in my hands and I'm in the car with my mom. There it is, and I open up the envelope. I see my English results. English, you had a 1, a distinction. And I'm like, well, it's expected, obviously. I look at mathematics next up. It was like a 2, which is also a distinction. I was like, I would have done better. Like I expected a 1, but 2 isn't bad. I looked at my RE results and it was like a 3, a merit. I was like, wow. Anyway, it's just RE. So I keep going down and I'm like, 5 in geography. I checked out my literature results. It was like 8. I was like, I see geometrical and mechanical drawing with a 7. But then I'm like, anyway, it's not like it's physics, it's not like it's chemistry, it's not like it's science and biology. Let me check out everything else that I have. I check out science and it was a 5. I started thinking like, I think there was an error in the ECZ system because it is not possible that I would get this. Anyway, let's see the big determiner, biology. Like, I know I can't get like some mediocre results in biology. And I looked at my biology results and it was a 7. In that moment, I began to rethink my life. Like, maybe I was not who I thought I was all along. And I'm there with my mom and she's seen those results and because she always believed in me, she just gave me that encouragement to say like, there's always rewriting. You can always rewrite. I believe if you got to rewrite, you could make it. Like she was just there to motivate me. So I'm this 17-year-old boy that works at a restaurant, and every time he knocks off from a restaurant, he has to get on a bus to go far away to some GCE center, learning with people twice his age, 3 times his age, people that could be his parents, and it was quite intimidating. Time came, I sat for those GCE exams, and so now the year is 2014. That time results are released and my eyes couldn't believe what I was seeing again. I look at my biology. This time around it was a 5. So I'm like, from 7 to 5, at least I managed to drop it. But my hopes of doing medicine are like really reduced. Then I see my science results. This time around from 5, they went to a 6. I thought before my self-esteem had gone down, but this time around, oh my god. So months down the line, my dad was like, you need to start applying for school or something, at least start looking for something. Then my dad saw an ad on ZMBC talking about Hillcrest A levels. Then I said, yeah, you know what? I think that's something that we can consider. Instead of us applying for Hillcrest, I can apply to DK because I have a friend that was there who has information. And then my mom, my biological mom, was in Lusaka at the moment. So I thought like it would be much easier to do that. that, but eventually I made it to DK. January 2015, when we had to sit for the AS examination. March, we could check our results online. I saw my results now. Math, I had a U. Chemistry, I had a U. Biology, I had a U. I was like, how am I even going to break this news to my dad? Like, he's putting so much. So that day I gave my dad a call and I explained everything to him. And the reaction he gave was like the most surprising reaction. Like, he was like, oh, okay, so what do you think we should do next? And I was like, there's an opportunity to rewrite in June, July, but then the deadline is about to catch up, so I can't write now, but I can still write like next year, January and all that. So he said, okay, let's try to keep you there and see what you can do. And I was like, wow, God. So a time came when there was a decision to still rewrite or not, but my gut feeling wasn't really for the whole idea of that at this point. And so in around September 2015, I had to leave DK. So again, like, time came and my dad was thinking like maybe I probably gave up on school and stuff. He started asking like, what's the plan, what's the way forward, stuff. So I was like, I applied to UNZA, so I believe that I'll be accepted. But then he said, you need to try out other things. So, well, just for the sake of doing it, I applied at UNILAS too for School of Economics. Fast forward, a time came when UNZA names were released and I wasn't on the list. But apparently at the same time, I was accepted in School of Economics at UNILAS. I dropped the news to tell my dad, and he was asking, are you sure this is what you want to do? Do you want to do economics? So I'm there really rethinking, and I'm like, well, yeah, but deep in my mind, I'm just like, what else is left? But sadly enough, in that very period, like, the family started having like some certain financial difficulties and all that. So I could see that even though I was accepted at UNILAS, the probability of me even going there was probably very low. And I remember my biological mom was also apparently in Chingola at that moment. So I remember going to visit her one time, and she was saying, my friend and I were discussing like, what if you and her son would go to China? Because our other friend has got a child there. So I was like, Mom, right now it's seeming impossible for me to go to UNILAS. How is it even possible to afford to go to China? But then my mom had like this crazy faith. Like, so eventually, I went into it. So I remember making this before. Next profile picture I'm gonna have on Facebook, I'll be in China. And not only that, I said, God, I will only pay for the year that I'll go there. But every other year, the next 3 years that I'll be there, I will be under scholarship. It wasn't an easy process. There was a lot of stuff like money and all that. Fast forward, we applied, and hey, dreams do come true. My next profile picture on Facebook, I was here. Before I could get into my bachelor's degree in September 2017, I had to do a language program for about 6 months. So in Chinese language class, I made sure I put in all that I had. And thank God, every exam I had above 90%. You can imagine how this felt from someone coming from a failing streak. Then it's like they break it. But it didn't make me complacent. I still felt like I still had a lot to prove. Like, hey, this is just Chinese language. You have to prove something in your major. The first year came, did the same. I hammered that stuff. And it was like, wow. When time to apply for scholarships came, I applied for that. And thank God heavens, I was accepted. So second year came, I smashed the first semester. Second semester came, I smashed. The next application for scholarships came, I applied. Many people were saying it's rare for someone to get it twice, but I knew the agreement that I made with God. I applied for that scholarship, and guess what? I was accepted the second time. Again, third year came, like third year, first semester, second semester, I smashed that also. Time for applying for scholarships came, and I said, God, this is the last scholarship which we're supposed to get. I applied for that, and as if it was a joke, got it a third time. Like, We smashed first year, smashed second year, third year, fourth year, did that thesis stuff, and eventually everything that I was hoping for came to pass. It's not much maybe to many people, but I graduated with a GPA of about 3.5, 3.6, and you do not know how that means to me. So that was the story of Drew and school. I hope I didn't take much of your time, and I hope it motivated you to pursue your dreams as much as possible, and to continue believing in God and continue believing in that vision, that it will all come to pass. It's been me, Drew MC, for today's Motivation Monday. Hope you were inspired.